In this video, we're going to see how you can use a tool like multi-criteria decision analysis to help with the risk evaluation kinds of decisions that we've been reading about. One of the primary risk evaluation decisions is, are you going to do something or not about the risks that you have assessed? In this particular video, what I want to show you is an example of how you might use this tool to help you sort through the various choices. So we've already decided that we want to take some action on any levy that has an Lsat rating of a 1, 2, or 3. But now we're trying to evaluate these risks and figure out which are the best actions to take. So let's join this idea here using a multi-criteria decision analysis tool. You see I've got highlighted, identify the best risk reduction. And we have 4 different measures here. I'm going to begin with the Lsat measure. So when I click on that, you'll see this little window open up. This is the levy Lsat value. And I have here a scale that I've established that basically says that the most preferred level, in other words, the highest risk, the one that we want to work with first, would be a 1, and the least preferred level would be a 5. So this is our risk metric. This is the way that we measure risks in levies. But when time comes to evaluate a risk, there's more than just the science or the evidence or the risk metrics. There are also social values. So what I've tried to do here is just to dummy up some ideas to illustrate how we might incorporate these social values. So let's take the time to Lsat 4 here. Read the comment. It says this identifies the time in years it would take to get a levy from its current rating to an Lsat 4 rating. Okay? And when I go to the scale, not that we're going to worry about how to use this software right now, the most preferred level would be faster. I've got one project that can be done in 5 years, and of the ones we're looking at, one would take 15 years, and that's less preferred. So less time is more preferred than more time. Let's take a look at cost to the Lsat. This is the cost measured in millions of dollars to move a levy from its current Lsat rating to an Lsat 4. And once again, less cost is more preferred to higher costs. There are reasons why these values are what they are, but we're not trying to learn how to use the software. I just want you to get a brief feel for this. So let's look at the 4th value, the 4th criterion that we're going to use to identify the best risk reduction options. And I've called this politics. I've called it politics just so that you understand that there can be some qualitative sorts of things and things that are not, generally speaking, evidence or science by any definition. So here I've simply said there could be high political interest in fixing a levy, medium political interest, or low political interest. So we have defined all of these measures. Now the next thing that we need to do is someone needs to say, okay, which of these 4 measures is going to be most important in trying to identify that best risk reduction? So we have to assign weights. And here I've already done that. I said the Lsat measure, the risk metric, that's clearly the single most important thing. I'm giving that a 0.5. I'm just using from 0 to 1, and I'm divvying up the points. There are many ways to do this, but this helps you to see that I've said the Lsat rating is as important as the other 3 combined. The time and the cost are all a 0.2 in my measurement, and the politics is a 0.1. Okay? And you see there the least preferred levels and the most preferred levels and all of those sorts of things. Now we have to go out and gather some evidence. All of the numbers that you're looking at here are entirely made up with no attempt to try to be realistic, only an attempt to try to be illustrative. So I have a levy here, Edwardstown. It would cost $100 million to get it to an Lsat 4. It's currently an Lsat 1. It has high political interest, and it would take it 15 years to get to an Lsat 4. Fortville, Fortville, as you see, would cost $27 million. It's an Lsat 3, low political interest, and the time to get it to an Lsat 4 would be 6 years. And you see how all of the others are sorted out. Here we have 40 Warrior. That is something that's going to take $10 million. It's currently an LSAC 3. There's medium political interest, and it could get to an LSAC 4 rather quickly. So we have different levies there. Each levy has a measurement for each of the 4 criteria. We have said what the weights, the relative importance of these criteria are. So now I'm just going to go up to the results, and right now I'm going to ask you to trust me. There is a mathematical algorithm that's used to combine the weights with the evidence and to come up with results. I'm just going to say rank the alternatives for me, please. And here it does that. Notice now, and I'll show you before we leave, Kingsville, 40 Sawyer, Edwardstown, Fortville, Wilkes Ferry, and Handed Over. These are the levies that we're looking at. These numbers here combined, the biggest number means this is the best risk reduction choice. So Kingsville is the best risk reduction choice. Over here you see a little graphic that's showing you what makes it best. Well, on the LSAC criterion, that's a big part of what makes this best. The time to LSAC you can see here, that's a modest gain. Down here you'll notice 40 Warrior, the time to LSAC 4 is a big advantage, as is the cost to LSAC 4. And that moved 40 Warrior up to the 2nd position. Okay, so take a look at those now just for a second. Let me jump back here. And we'll notice Edwardstown was LSAC 1, Kingsville was LSAC 1, Handed Over and Wilkes Ferry were LSAC 2. Handed Over and Wilkes Ferry dropped to the bottom, even though they're LSAC 2s, and a couple of the LSAC 3s have moved up into the higher risk rankings because, not because they're riskier. You can notice that the red bars are less for them, but because they contribute better to this desire to get things done quickly and cost effectively. So that's our little overview. There are many very neat tools out there that you can use, and when it comes to evaluation is not always conducted simply on a single risk metric. Having an LSAC rating alone may not be enough.